Hi everyone, and welcome to Creative Chelsea. Today I'm going to be sharing with you my version of April 2022 Sheetload of Cards from Call Me Crafty Al. If you are new to my channel and want to see more of my videos, click on the subscribe button and then the bell for notifications. I would love to be your Stampin' Up! Demonstrator and help you with any of your paper crafting needs. To purchase any of the products you see me use today, please visit my online store, and the link is in the description below. So this month's Sheetload of Cards is a Fun-Fold Slimline Card, and you're going to use 6x6 paper. If you only have 12x12, you just can cut it down to 6x6 to follow her template. And if you'd like to get your own free template, you can visit Call Me Crafty Al's YouTube channel, and there is a link below in the description so that you can get your own free copy. So I'm going to share with you the products that I used to create my Sheetload of Cards for April 2022. So the first thing is I really wanted to use this beautiful Expressions in Ink Specialty Designer Series paper from Stampin' Up. You can see that it does come in a 12x12 format, and they're double-sided. The reason it's called Specialty DSP is because it does have one side with some gold foiling. You can see here that it's in the center of those pretty flowers, and then the other side. The pack does come with 2 sheets of double-sided pattern. So this one's got that pattern in the center and then that beautiful gold foiling. And what I did is I just took 2 pieces, and then these are the 2 pieces that I used, cut them into 6x6 pieces. So right now they are 6x12, so they're a little bit smaller, and then just followed her template and the other pattern on the other side. So you can see here how those 2 patterns are used on the card. So there's that version, and then this one has the flowers on the larger area and the stripes on the inside. So then I also did use the Artistically Inked stamp set that coordinates beautifully with that paper, and the artistic dies from Stampin' Up. So this right now you can get as a bundle, and it has this really beautiful die that I cut out with gold foil and layered over some stamped images. And I'm going to share with you today how I did that, because it's a little bit tricky and I want to make sure that I share those fun little tips with you. So I'll show you a couple more so you can get a close-up of those beautiful stamped and die cut images. I love how, especially on this one with the stripes in the background, how it just really pops and makes this really beautiful element as the focal point for the card. And I do think that it still looks really good when you've got that same kind of color and floral pattern on the background. It just gives a place for the eye to gravitate towards. And it's so fun that it's right along that edge so that you can also get some fun shapes as you open up your card. So let's go ahead and I'll show you how I created this image right here. So the thing that can be a little tricky with stamping an image like this is that we want them to be in a particular place, because we want the stamped image to coordinate with the shape of die that comes in that larger, beautiful, detailed die. And so if you look carefully at the stamp set, you'll see that these images are separate, but we want to create kind of a grouping. And then I also wanted to create them multiple times since I was making many cards. And so this is the technique that I used for that. So I'm going to begin with a piece of basic white cardstock. It is 4 1/4 squared, and I'm going to add it to my Stamparatus. And I'm going to do it 1 inch from the top, just so there's plenty of room. And then I just place my die on top of that piece of cardstock. You may want to tape this down. You would normally use your magnets, but because we're working with the metal die, it does have a problem moving everything. So just kind of tape everything down so nothing moves on you while you're lining up your stamps. So next you're going to take your stamps, and I'm going to start with this larger image, and I'm going to place it over the larger flower on the die. Just kind of get it where I want it, and then use your Stamparatus and pick up the stamp. Next, we're going to remove the clear plate and flip it over so that the stamp is on the outside, and we're going to add another stamp to the inside. So for this one, let's do the medium size flower. This one I want to go over kind of the rose, just right there in the center, and pick that up with your clear plate. This is where the second clear plate comes in handy, is because you can go ahead and just keep adding more stamps exactly where you want them. And the next one I want to do is the leaves. So there's 2 leaves up here that fit nicely with the stamped image. So go ahead and place that on there. And then there's actually another leaf right here that I want to also add color behind. And so I'm going to take the single leaf and just place it right on top. And those both can get picked up on the same side of your clear plate. And then I actually just remembered that there is a third flower that I'm going to add with, and I'm going to place it on the same side as the medium size. And there's a small flower stamp, and I'm going to place that right here. There's a small flower here on this side, and I'm just going to place that right over that and pick that up. So now I have 2 stamps on this side with the medium and small, and then the large flowers by itself, and then I've got the 2 leaves on this one. So once I have those in position, I can go ahead and lift up and remove the die. And then I'm going to take a piece of washi tape and just hold that in place so that my paper doesn't move. Now, if you are using multiple papers, then you would just reline up your paper, so your second piece to the same point, which is 1 inch down from the top, so that you can get multiples all at one time. So the ink colors that I'm using, I'm going to begin with the large image, and I'm going to use Magenta Madness for that large floral image. Just going to ink it up. The other nice thing about using your Stamparatus is if you don't get enough ink, you can always re-stamp it as long as your paper hasn't moved. So look how beautiful that is. So that's my first flower. Then I can rotate, and I'm going to ink up my second flower. This one I'm going to do in Pale Papaya, and I'm going to do both flowers the same color. Next, I'm going to do my leaves, and the color I've chosen for these is Shaded Spruce. And all these colors coordinate well with the DSP that I used for my cards. So there are a couple more things that I want to do with this particular image. And one of them is to add another flower right here between the Pale Papaya and the other Pale Papaya. And I'm going to use a different color of pink. This one is Polished Pink. And I'm using that small floral. And I did remove it from my Stamparatus because I can just eyeball this and just add it right there like that. And then I'm going to do that same flower again, and I'm just going to place it over here on the side. Now I'll show you how you can do this without your Stamparatus if you want to try to just eyeball it. So to place items just by hand instead of using a Stamparatus, you're going to just continue to add your die back over the stamped images. So I've cleaned my stamp, and I'm going to use Pale Papaya for this one. And you just kind of hover, honestly. So you're going to place your die where you want it, hover your stamp where you want to place it, and then you can place a stamp down over that area. And then if by chance you're off just slightly, then just make another stamp. The nice thing about this is that the die does kind of cover up any mistakes. Now you'll notice over here on this rose that I do have some open areas that are still white, and it's kind of also really light. And so what I'm doing is I've placed that same medium stamped image back on a clear block, and with the pale papaya again, I'm just going to stamp a couple more images on each side just to kind of beef up that image and make it darker and bolder, and also fill up the whole shape of that rose. So you can see now that I don't have any white in those areas. All right, so there is a close-up of my stamped images all together as a group. And again, if you use the Stamparatus, it's really easy to just make multiples of this. So next I just take a pair of paper snips and I'm going to fussy cut around this image. Okay, so that piece is now ready for our card. And let's talk just really quickly about how to get the detailed die, and I've cut it with the gold foil paper, and how to add it to that image. So what I like to do is use adhesive sheets for detailed dies like this. So I've got a piece of gold foil sheet that's 4 inches squared, and my adhesive sheet is only 2 inches squared. And the reason for this is because I don't actually want adhesive all over the die cut, because there will be parts that are not going to stick to my stamped image or the card. And so I don't want those to be sticky. So I'm going to place that right in the center. And then I'm going to take the die and run it through my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. And then I'll be right back and we'll finish putting it together. Okay, so once you've cut that out, then you're going to remove the paper backing and any other little pieces that might be stuck inside. And so this is sticky here in the center. And then all you have to do is just line it back up with those images. And it doesn't have to be perfect. It's kind of fun to have it be off just a little bit. And then your piece is now ready for your card. Well, I hope you've enjoyed seeing my version of this month's Sheetload of Cards from Call Me Crafty Al. Remember, you can visit her YouTube channel to get your own free template. The link is in the description box below. Make sure to check out what the other amazing team members have created. You can see their videos by clicking on the hashtag in the title of this video or below in the description. Thanks so much for watching. Have a creative day. Bye.